Randy Macho Man Savage.
Taking on Hurricane Castillo. And perhaps Rip Rogers, this was the match where Randy Macho Man Savage became the true gladiator that he is today. Here we see the way he used to encounter opponents all over the world. Hurricane Castillo, famous Cuban wrestler, rugged in his own rights, victim of a quick attack by the Macho Man.
Yes, the Macho Man, there is that patented elbow drop, boom! And you can tell that he's hurt Hurricane Castillo, but I'll tell you one thing, Hugo, he would never do that to me.
Okay, now very important to specify here that this elbow from the top rope was the one that retired Hurricane Castillo, a senior, and almost cost him to die out of the consequences of this tremendous blow. But he wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted to still hurt him some more. It was a very aggressive attitude by Randy Macho Man Savage. Referee Ricky Vargas, he was worried because at this point, Castillo was not even opening his eyes.
Well, that's the price you pay. When you get in the ring with any professional wrestler, it could be the last moment of your life. It's not anybody's fault of what happens in that ring. If you can't take the heat, you get out of the kitchen. When you get in that ring with one of the bad boys of professional wrestling, and the list goes on and on of those bad boys, you could be in for a serious beating.
What a way to open up this tape. Bad boys of wrestling. Randy Macho Man Savage injuring, almost causing the life of Hurricane Castillo. And if many of the fans that watch him today think that it was the WWF wrestler that made him famous, he was way famous before that. He was just a true asset in the world of professional wrestling, and he was always strong, a great athlete. But one thing we have to comment about this man is he knew he was hurting Castillo, and he did not stop. Even with the doctor in the ring, you could still see his attitude. He wanted to hurt him some more.
He wanted to hurt Castillo. He wanted to hurt the referee. He wanted to hurt the fans. I think he even wanted to hurt Dr. Gonzalez because that man's not all there. He's a little bit crazy. He challenged the fan. That's his deal. That's his gig.
The Macho Man Savage here at this given point in his career, telling the wrestling world that he was out to get him. Did not care who was in the ring. He just wanted to hurt him bad. Dr. Hector Gonzalez was concerned about Castillo. And the results on this was Castillo was put in the hospital for over 2 weeks and almost cost him the life. And obviously he was never able to return active into professional wrestling. And that was the famous match where Savage became the destructor that he is. Okay, watch the way the wrestlers were carrying him out. Watch the fans concerned, the referee also. Dr. Gonzalez was looking for an ambulance, and look at the way Randy Macho Man Savage was taking care of these other guys that came in to help Castillo. No concern whatsoever for Hurricane Castillo. He was just out to get him. Look out, watch this. Talking about some mean instincts on the Macho Man. This was it. On top of the stretcher, he hurt him even more. That's when Carlos Colon came in. And believe me, everybody was scared. People were crying at the arena. Almost cost the life of Hurricane Castillo Sr. Bad boys of wrestling. Your comments on this, Rip Rogers. You're laughing about this, aren't you?
Well, I think it's a pretty good thing because Hurricane Castillo, you should have got rid of him a long time ago. And let me tell you, if Carlitos Colon ever ran in my match like he did in Savage's match, I'd do the same thing to him that Savage did to Castillo.
Everybody was concerned. Carlos Colon coming into the rescue of Hurricane Castillo. Desperate moments for the friends of Hurricane. Savage had done the damage. Look at the fans standing around. And look at Savage. He's there for more. Oh my goodness, now going after Carlos. So for you fans that did not know Randy Macho Man Savage before he hit the WWF, he was already a superstar and a mean one at that before he ever came into that.
I just love it. Look at him beating up Colon. That's a sight for sore eyes because Carlitos Colon, he's been a thorn in many man's sides, and it's about time he got what was coming to him because he's always interfering in matches.
He's fighting back here. He's fighting back. Carlos Colon, he is upset about what's done to his friend. Now a brawl inside the ring. Trading punches, best exchange here by the Macho Man, but Carlos also letting him have a couple of good punches here. Meanwhile, the fans are concerned about everything that has happened here. And what a way to start this bad wrestlers tape. The bad boys of professional wrestling. Savage ranking high among them.
Oh, when you're talking about bad boys of professional wrestling, you're talking about Ivan Koloff, you're talking about myself, you're talking about Tiger Jeet Singh, you're talking about Abdul the Butcher, and the list goes on and on. And what a way to start this first match on this tape from EG Productions of Bad Boys, baby. It's Savage, it's Rogers, it's Abdul the Butcher, and the list goes on and on.
Okay, fans, let's take you immediately to another sensational match. Okay, we're gonna stay here as our director tells us to stay here. Randy Macho Man Savage doing some more damage here on Carlos Colon. Referee trying to stop Savage, but obviously Rogers, after he sent a man to the hospital, I don't think that he was there to respect not the referees, not any wrestlers here.
He don't care. All he cares about, he's throwing on emotion. He's going on emotion. That adrenaline's flowing. He don't care what's happening. Colon doesn't care. They're two men after each other, baby. They're two men. They don't ask a no quarter and give a none. And this is a riot, a full-scale riot. You see the fans going crazy. You see Savage going crazy. You see Colon going crazy. And I'm going crazy sitting here watching the action.
Look at that, Savage and Carlos all over the floor here. These are the superstars of Caribbean Championship Wrestling, where legends are made and they have to prove themselves in every match. Now the wrestlers trying to break him apart. Tremendous battle after he had injured Castillo. He attacked Carlos, but look out! Now it's working to the advantage of Colon. As he was tied up, Savage, Carlos got loose and connected some shots, but now it's happening the same way to Carlos. Wow. You're talking about some tough individuals and tough guys. I don't think you want to deal with Colon, Rip Rogers.
I don't know about, but there's Domingo, whatever.
He's my favorite, Domingo Robles.
Domingo Robles, hey, I wouldn't want to deal with Domingo. He's one of the baddest men in all professional wrestling today.
He has kicked some butt, I'm telling you the truth. He has kicked some butt. Okay, fans, look at the action. The ring was not enough. They're going everywhere here. This is the action of Caribbean Championship Wrestling. The doctor going inside to the dressing room to get an ambulance for Castillo. Meanwhile, the anger of Carlos Colon and the ambitious attack by Savage has created all this mess here, as nobody has been able to stop him. Even Commissioner at that time, Thomas Ernesto, was trying to to keep these guys away from each other, and now we have other people punching each other.
Well, that's the typical Puerto Ricans right there. You get them fighting over the rice and beans, and they going crazy.
Wait a minute, now you're doing some insults on some people. We're talking about wrestling, Rogers. Let's concentrate. Ahí estaba Savage, como siempre, hablando, insultando. Y Carlito decía, esto hay que ponerle fin. El árbitro mandaba a sonar la campana. Estamos viendo, amigos, cómo es esta rivalidad entre Savage y Carlitos.
Bueno, Macho Man siempre ha caracterizado por ese salto desde la tercera cuerda. Ha destrozado prácticamente grandes estrellas de la lucha libre con ese lance. Y aquí lo vemos como masacra a Carlos Colon.
Con fuerza. Tremendo rudo este Savage. En una riña que el público está muy familiarizado. Es Carlito y Savage demostrando su fuerza en este encuentro.
Bueno, hasta ahora no ha habido lucha libre, simplemente lo que ha habido una pelea, golpes van, golpes vienen. Carlos Colon quebrando todas las reglas como es su característica. Macho Man también ha peleado como se merece Carlos Colon, de la manera que de la forma irrespetuosa que Carlos Colon, ya que Carlos Colon se merece ningún tipo de consideración.
Muchas veces se habían enfrentado estos dos, habían sido encuentros tremendos entre Savage y el acróbata de Puerto Rico, Carlitos Colon. Y hay que decirlo, profe, Carlitos tuvo problemas fuertes con este Randy Macho Man Savage.
Obviamente después de esto Macho Man se haría una leyenda en la WWF, llegarse a llamar el rey de la lucha libre, y obviamente donde obtuvo esas características, donde se entrenó, donde se preparó para llegar a ese nivel, fue en el Consejo Mundial de Lucha.
No hay duda que el Consejo Mundial de Lucha ha sido una fuente de inspiración, una fuente de dedicación, donde se ha demostrado los quilates luchadores, donde se han forjado carreras, y es por eso que Puerto Rico siempre en la memoria de los grandes luchadores siempre está presente como uno de los sitios donde tuvieron que echar el resto, echar el máximo para ser una gran superestrella en la lucha libre.
Los fanáticos de la lucha libre de Puerto Rico son gente que conocen, son gente que han visto la crema y nata de la lucha libre. Todo aquel que ha sido alguien en la lucha libre ha estado en Puerto Rico. Han visto los grandes inmortales de la lucha libre, han luchado en Puerto Rico, han hecho su nombre aquí en Puerto Rico y han dado lo mejor de sí. Así que el público de Puerto Rico no se deja engañar. Sabe cuál es la mejor lucha libre del mundo y la respalda. Obviamente el Consejo Mundial de Lucha y al profe. Qué bonito, qué bonito me quedó el discurso, qué bonito me quedó.
Bueno, te dimos aplausos. Mientras tanto, Carlitos ha ensangrentado a Randy Macho Man Savage, el árbitro. El señor Ricky Vargas llamándole la atención. Quiere que Carlitos vuelva al cuadrilátero. Y hay que señalar de nuevo que Carlitos no estaba interesado en una mera victoria, sino algo ya personal, profe.
Obviamente Carlos Colón se ha visto muchas riñas durante toda su vida profesional y esta ha sido una de las más peligrosas, porque Randy Macho Man Savage ayer, hoy y mañana siempre será un peligroso rival para cualquier persona.
Un luchador a que nosotros respetamos muchísimo, una entrega total, un hombre devoto del gimnasio, y aunque se pueda contradecir mucho en cuanto a su estilo, siempre se tiene que decir cuando se habla de Savage que es un luchador que lo entrega todo. Y Carlitos subió y abajo del ring también demostrando que vino inspirado, que vino en su mejor momento para demostrar que él podía con este Randy Macho Man Savage.
Grandes cotas dispararía a estos dos señores. Años después, Carlos Colón se convertiría en campeón universal. Randy Macho Man Savage se convertiría en campeón mundial de la WWF. Y la riña simplemente fue brutal, fue salvaje. Vemos cómo Macho Man está sangrando de una manera brutal gracias a las brutalidades de Carlos Colón, que no sabe reconocer la virtud de otros.
Profe, Randy Macho Man Savage, aún hablando con él recientemente, me dice que nunca olvidará los encuentros que sostuvo aquí en Puerto Rico, y aquí en Superestrellas de la Lucha Libre número 4 le estamos brindando esos momentos espectaculares de esta riña tremenda entre el acróbata de Puerto Rico, Carlitos Colón, y el Randy Macho Man Savage. Una furia tremenda, Carlitos dando prácticamente una paliza tremenda a Savage.
Y todos esos fanáticos pueden estar pendientes que muy pronto seguiremos trayéndole de nuestra gran videoteca grandes momentos de la historia de la lucha libre como este que estamos viendo ahora.
Aquí Carlitos buscaba la figura 4, se refugiaba Savage en las cuerdas. Aquí estamos viendo otro momento donde el acróbata de Puerto Rico dominaba con un cabezazo contra un hombre que había perdido muchísima sangre y que a lo mejor nunca esperaba, profe, que le iba a pasar esto.
Bueno, tal vez Macho Man no esperaba una reacción de Carlos Colón, tal vez no pensaba que Carlos Colón fuera tan peligroso como de la manera que le ha salido, de la manera tan brutal que Carlos Colón le ha peleado. Carlos Colón se ha ido con él en su propio terreno, golpe a golpe, patadas a patadas, y hemos visto que la lucha ha estado bastante pareja.
Profe, voy a contradecirlo, no ha estado pareja. Carlitos ha dominado en todo momento. Carlitos ha golpeado como ha querido a Savage, y ahora, en estos momentos, es que Savage, al verse perdido, está rompiendo todas las reglas, castigando los ojos y buscando cómo detener a un hombre que le ha estado dando una soberana paliza, como lo ha hecho Carlitos Colón.
No estaba apreciando los golpes cortos de Macho Man Savage, unos izquierdazos a la quijada de Carlos Colón, muy bien efectuados, muy bien conectados.
Y finalmente Savage logra dominar en ese forcejeo Carlitos, pero es Carlitos quien reacciona rápido. Los dos fueron a la lona en una rompecuellos giratoria, pero para sorpresa de Savage fue Carlitos el que logró incorporarse de una manera rápida, y los botazos no se dejan esperar. Ahí está el acróbata de Puerto Rico, tal como lo señaló el profe. Al pasar de los años, los dos seguirían sus rumbos, y sus rumbos serían de victoria, tanto Carlitos en el Consejo Mundial de Lucha como este Savage en la Federación Mundial de Lucha. Es para nosotros un placer presentarles aquí en Superestrellas de la Lucha Libre número 4 este gran encuentro entre Carlitos y Savage. Miren esto, lo lanza por la tercera cuerda, eso es descalificación automática. Señala el árbitro que ha sido descalificado este Randy Macho Man Savage, y se lanza en un golpe tremendo. El árbitro suena la campana, Carlitos gana por descalificación. Here we go, next match. Randy, the Macho Man Savage, against Invader number 3. Referee Ricky Vargas, tell us a little bit about the Macho Man and Invader 3, Bobby Jaggers.
The Macho Man, a very fantastic athlete, one of the top stars in professional wrestling. Also, Gusiminovich, something I don't think you knew, Randy the Macho Man Savage was a great and fantastic baseball player in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. And as you can tell, this man is 110% athlete. Invader number 3, one of the greatest legends in Puerto Rico. And I'll tell you something, as you can tell by the crowd here in Caguas, Puerto Rico, it's definitely going to be a match that's going to be watched by everybody.
Well, here we are, Rio Piedras, Bobby Jaggers, you confusing the Spanish towns. Again, Randy Macho Man Savage against Invader number 3. And we can guarantee all you fans at your homes right now, or wherever you are, that we are going to see a tremendous confrontation. Two fast wrestlers in action. Look out! What a drop kick.
Well, I'll tell you something. That's one thing Invader 3's got going for him. He got speed and agility, and plus an expertise of wrestling knowledge. You know something, ladies and gentlemen? None of your collection of professional wrestling tapes are complete until you have the superstars of Capital Sports Promotions from Puerto Rico, where the superstars wrestle all the time.
Well, we have seen Randy Macho Man Savage come in, trying to get a quick victory. And we have seen as the Invader 3 has quickly changed things here in this matchup. Randy Macho Man Savage also likes to do a lot of bodybuilding. He likes the weights, he likes the running.
You know something, Louis Vince, you sit there and take a look, and you take a look at Invader 3, he'll take that size difference of Randy Savage's and turn it to his favor, because he's a good technical scientific wrestler, and he does great moves, and he's a high flyer. But there's only one thing when you're a high flyer in professional wrestling. Only 3 things can happen when you leave the mat, and 2 of them are bad.
Well, I have to agree with you there, Bobby. I have to agree with you there. Invader 3, keeping Randy Macho Man Savage down at the mat, trying to come up. Good hammerlock by the Invader 3. Referee Ricky Vargas right on top of the action, and Randy Macho Man Savage also, Bobby, comes from a long line of tremendous wrestlers in his family. His father, a great wrestler, also his brother. As a matter of fact, 2 of his brothers are tremendous wrestlers.
That's right. You know, Randy Macho Man Savage's father, Angelo Poffo, held the world record for most sit-ups by any human being, and I think it was 6,123. Now, to me, that's a pretty fantastic feat, and it goes to show you that Randy Savage has got the drive to be one of the top wrestlers in professional wrestling. He inherited it.
Well, we saw when he started professional wrestling, he had a great future, and now that future is a reality. He's one of the top athletes. He's making millions of dollars, and I honestly should say this, he deserves that. He really went out of his way to make sure that all his family knew that even though it was a dangerous sport, he was there to take the risk. As you know, his mother was very scared of him being involved in professional wrestling because Randy's got a bad temper, and he ain't afraid of nobody. And you know, consequently, that also carries you a lot of times into the hospital.
That's right. You know, Macho Man Randy Savage is known worldwide for one thing. He's got a short fuse, but I'll tell you one thing. He can back it up, brother. And right now, Invader 3, as we see in this match so far, has controlled it. But he controlled it exactly the way I told you he can control it. He's controlling it with a body part. Now, Randy Macho Man Savage has got to figure a way to take the control from the Invader 3 and go on the offensive.
Okay, good tackle. Reversal here. Hip toss by the Invader 3. Oh, beautiful arm drag. He came under, hook in the arm. What a move by the Invader 3. The fans love it here. And we have been corrected here, Bobby. Not only were you wrong when you said Caguas, and not only was I wrong when I said Rio Piedras, but our editor here says we are in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, going back in memory lane here, showing you some of the great matches here in the World Wrestling Council history, as we have seen some of the top superstars here in the World Wrestling Council. Randy Macho Man Savage, one of them.
That's right. You know, I'm the one that corrected you. I knew I'd made a mistake because I've wrestled in arenas all over the world. You know, Macho Man Savage, Invader 3 just keeps going right back to that one body part. They're the flying body press. This might be it. So I'll tell you something. There it is, right there. See how he gets underneath that man? He's using Savage's weight against him with that leverage, the same way you would in amateur wrestling, and he's applying it to professional wrestling, which is a great sign of a great wrestler.
Not only that, but such a quick move, like he digs under, hook in the arm, and this could actually break an arm even before he hits the mat.
That's crazy. You're actually correct. If that man, Macho Man Randy Savage, If he tries to plan on that, he's going to have his arm broke. I'll guarantee you that right now. But the Invader 3, you've got to respect him. He's going right back that body part. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that he's got Macho Man Randy Savage at a very distinct disadvantage right now, psychologically and physically.
The Invader 3 has held the World's Junior Heavyweight Championship in more than a few occasions, and he's proven to Randy Macho Man Savage that he's one of the top athletes in that division.
That's not only that, Hugo Savinovich. If you're a junior heavyweight champion in professional wrestling, that just means you're under the 220-pound weight limit to be a heavyweight. I think Invader 3 probably weighs about 218, 219 pounds, and at any given day, he could go up to over 220, which he would compete with the super heavyweights, which he does regularly in Puerto Rico.
But he's got the advantage that by keeping that weight down, he could always be in shape and one of the top contenders for the title. And he has traveled around the world. They really love it in Mexico. They love it in Canada. And in New York, the Invaders were our top team there also.
That's right. You know, right there, Randy Savage is turning the tide of this match right now. You saw, ladies and gentlemen, a knee to the short to the back of the Invader number 3. And Macho Man Randy Savage just explodes on this man. Just explodes on him. What a nice elbow right there. This might, but you got to wrap that leg up, Hugo Savinovich. There's nobody going to pin anybody if you don't get that leg wrapped up.
Okay, look out. Good combination of punches by the Invader 3. And Savage puts the brakes. What a kick. Look out. Over the top rope. Wow.
Now, isn't that a disqualification, Hugo Savinovich?
No, at that time, they didn't have those rules. But look out. Here comes the Invader 3. Wow, what a flying body tackle. What an incredible, fantastic move. Both men outside the ring now. And it's Invader 3 getting the best of the exchange.
That's right. You know, let me tell you something, Hugo Savinovich. Those high-flying moves, like I said, 3 things happen and 2 of them are bad. And somewhere down the line, it's going to catch up with Invader 3. As you notice here, now it's just an all-out fight. They're just fighting underneath the
The
deal.
bell rings. Both men have been counted out. But what a match for the Invader number 3 as he has gone punch for punch with the top-ranked Randy Macho Man Savage. Both men are counted out, double disqualification. And to me, the Invader 3 has proved one of the tremendous athletes that he is, one of the best.